Have you ever scrolled through social media and felt a wave of negativity wash over you? Perhaps you've seen posts filled with public complaints, angry rants, or even hurtful accusations. Maybe, without realizing it, you've been part of that cycle too. These actions might seem harmless at first, but they reveal much about our emotional intelligence, or lack thereof. I remember once stumbling across a post where someone I knew publicly blamed a colleague for a mistake. The comments that followed were brutal, creating a whirlwind of hostility. That one post didn't just damage relationships, it tarnished the poster's reputation. It made me wonder, how many of us fall into similar traps on social media without understanding the deeper consequences? In this video, we'll uncover 6 key ways low emotional intelligence (EQ) manifests on social media and explore how Stoic philosophy offers timeless solutions to these modern problems. From public complaining to oversharing, each habit comes with actionable steps to help you regain control, build inner peace, and create a positive online presence. By the end of this video, you'll not only recognize these behaviors in yourself or others, but also learn how to transform them. If this resonates with you or reminds you of someone in your circle, share this video with them. Let's spark meaningful change together. And don't forget, your personal stories and insights are invaluable. Share them in the comments below. Your experience might just be the key to helping someone else on their journey. 1. Public complaints or blame shifting. Social media has become a stage where frustrations, grievances, and blame are often aired publicly. On the surface, social platforms are designed to connect people, foster relationships, and share valuable information. They hold the potential to unite communities, spread positivity, and inspire action. However, this same space can also amplify negativity, turning into a breeding ground for public outbursts, blame shifting, and emotional venting. It's a paradox. While social media offers a platform for connection, it sometimes alienates us through conflict and toxicity. You've likely seen this play out: post filled with anger, naming and shaming colleagues, or venting about life's injustices. These posts may appear to be harmless expressions of emotion, a quick way to release pent-up frustration. But beneath the surface lies something deeper: a struggle to manage emotions, a fixation on negativity, and an over-reliance on external validation. In the process, the original purpose of social media, connection and understanding, is overshadowed by conflict and division. When someone vents their frustrations publicly, the consequences ripple far beyond the screen. For the poster, these actions can erode their reputation, making them appear impulsive, unprofessional, or overly emotional. Their words, once shared, cannot be unsaid, leaving a lasting impression on those who witness the outburst. For the individuals being blamed or criticized, the damage can be even more severe. Public humiliation creates wounds that are difficult to heal, and trust between the parties involved is often irreparably damaged. Even for bystanders, such negativity can create discomfort and a sense of unease, turning an otherwise positive space into a toxic environment. So why does this happen? Often, it stems from a lack of emotional control and a deep-seated need for validation. When emotions run high, the temptation to release them through a quick post can feel irresistible. Social media, with its immediate feedback loop of likes and comments, can create the illusion of support and understanding. However, this validation is often superficial and fleeting. Rather than solving the underlying issue, it exacerbates feelings of frustration and isolation, trapping the individual in a cycle of negativity. There is a smarter, more constructive way to handle these moments. Stoic philosophy offers a timeless perspective. Focus on what you can control and release what you cannot. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Instead of venting frustrations for the world to see, pause and reflect. Is this problem something within your power to change? If not, is public venting truly the best solution? Often, reframing our frustrations as opportunities for growth not only preserves our peace, but also strengthens our ability to navigate future challenges with resilience. The story I shared earlier illustrates this vividly. A man who publicly criticized a colleague over a workplace disagreement. His post, filled with anger and accusations, quickly spiraled into a flood of harsh comments. People who once respected him began questioning his professionalism. Mutual friends shared their disappointment privately, while his professional connections grew wary of working with someone who handled conflict so poorly. What was initially a minor workplace issue turned into a public spectacle, damaging his relationships and reputation. What's especially tragic is that this situation could have been resolved quietly, with dignity and respect. A private conversation with his colleague might have clarified misunderstandings or resolved the tension. Instead, by choosing a public platform, he allowed emotions to dictate his actions, prioritizing immediate release over thoughtful resolution. This choice didn't just highlight a lapse in judgment, it revealed a lack of emotional intelligence. If you ever find yourself in a similar situation, there's a better way forward. Before reaching for your phone or typing out a post, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply and assess your emotions. Ask yourself, what am I hoping to achieve by sharing this? Will this post bring resolution or understanding, or am I simply seeking validation? If the answer leans toward the latter, consider other outlets for processing your feelings. Write your thoughts in a private journal or confide in a trusted friend who can offer perspective and support. In workplace conflicts, particularly, the Stoic approach encourages professionalism and direct communication. If an issue arises, address it privately with the person involved. This not only shows emotional maturity, but also fosters an environment of trust and collaboration. Handling disagreements constructively strengthens relationships rather than breaking them down. Imagine if the man in the story had taken this approach. Instead of venting online, he could have reflected on the situation in private. By journaling his frustrations or discussing them with a neutral party, he might have gained clarity and emotional distance. Armed with this perspective, he could have approached his colleague calmly, seeking understanding and resolution rather than retaliation. Such a response would have preserved his dignity, reinforced his reputation, and likely led to a stronger working relationship. Low emotional intelligence often reveals itself through impulsive actions, but emotional intelligence is not fixed. It can be cultivated with practice and intention. The next time you feel frustration bubbling to the surface, resist the urge to broadcast it online. Instead, take a step back. Allow yourself time to process your emotions privately and only address the issue when you feel calm and in control. Every action we take online contributes to the digital version of ourselves that others see. Public complaining may offer a momentary sense of relief, but its long-term consequences rarely align with the person we aspire to be. By managing our emotions and practicing self-restraint, we not only protect our reputation, but also set an example of wisdom and maturity for others. The power of social media lies in its ability to influence and inspire. Instead of contributing to the noise of negativity, use your platform to spread messages of encouragement, insight, and positivity. Share a piece of wisdom that has guided you through challenging times, or express gratitude for the good in your life. When we approach social media with intention and emotional discipline, we transform it into a space that uplifts rather than tears down. What about you? Have you ever been tempted to vent your frustrations publicly, or have you witnessed the fallout from such posts? Share your experiences and thoughts in the comments below. Your story could help someone else navigate these challenges with grace and wisdom. Remember, the journey to emotional mastery is ongoing, but every step we take brings us closer to becoming the person we're meant to be. 2. Excessive boasting. Social media has become a powerful tool for self-expression, connection, and sharing achievements. It's where people celebrate milestones, showcase their passions, and connect with others across the globe. But amidst the positivity, there's a darker side to this stage, a culture of excessive boasting that has taken root. From posts flaunting extravagant lifestyles to endless updates about professional achievements, it's easy to fall into the trap of oversharing successes. At first glance, this might appear harmless or even motivating, but for many, it stems from a deeper insecurity, a craving for external validation that reveals a lack of confidence in one's intrinsic value. Excessive boasting creates unintended consequences, often without the individual realizing it. For the person sharing, their constant self-promotion can lead to a reputation of arrogance, insincerity, or superficiality. Over time, people may begin to view their posts as less about connection and more about seeking attention. The image they project online starts to overshadow who they truly are, making it harder to form genuine relationships. On the other side of the screen, their audience may feel alienated or even resentful. Constant comparisons can evoke feelings of inadequacy, creating a toxic cycle where social media becomes less about inspiration and more about competition. This behavior often stems from emotional vulnerability. When individuals feel unsure about their worth or achievements, they may seek external affirmation to compensate. Social media provides an easy stage for this, with likes, comments, and shares offering a temporary sense of validation. However, this kind of external praise is fleeting and shallow, doing little to fulfill the deeper need for self-acceptance. Instead, it leaves people caught in an exhausting cycle of seeking approval without ever achieving lasting contentment. Stoicism offers an alternative to this cycle, a philosophy grounded in self-mastery, humility, and inner contentment. Marcus Aurelius, a renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In other words, true satisfaction comes not from external accolades, but from aligning your actions with your values. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our internal character rather than seeking constant validation from others. By practicing humility and self-control, we strengthen our emotional resilience and free ourselves from the need for external approval. Let me share a story that illustrates the consequences of excessive boasting. There was a man who regularly posted about his luxurious vacations, expensive purchases, and career milestones. His social media feed painted a picture of success, one that many admired from afar. However, those who knew him personally saw a different reality. While his career was indeed flourishing, his relationships were deteriorating. Friends began to distance themselves, feeling that his posts were less about sharing joy and more about showing off. Colleagues, too, started questioning his professionalism, interpreting his online behavior as a distraction from his responsibilities. Without realizing it, he had created a divide between his public persona and his true self, damaging both his reputation and his connections. What could he have done differently? If he had embraced the wisdom of Stoicism, he might have paused to reflect before posting. Asking himself, "Why am I sharing this?" could have revealed his deeper motivations. Was it to inspire others, or was it to seek validation? By choosing to celebrate his accomplishments privately or within close circles, he could have maintained humility while preserving meaningful relationships. His posts could have shifted from self-promotion to sharing insights or lessons that resonated with his audience, fostering connection rather than competition. For anyone who has felt the temptation to boast excessively on social media, it's important to pause and reflect on your intentions. What drives the urge to share? Is it a desire to connect meaningfully, or is it rooted in a need for validation? Before posting, consider whether the content aligns with your values and how it may be perceived by others. If it feels self-serving, redirect that energy inward. Celebrate your accomplishments privately, or share them with those who genuinely care about your journey. A simple but profound practice is to cultivate gratitude. Instead of focusing on what you've achieved, reflect on the people and experiences that have supported you along the way. Sharing gratitude shifts the narrative from "look at me" to "I'm thankful," creating a sense of connection and humility. For example, instead of posting about a promotion, consider sharing a message of appreciation for the mentors or colleagues who helped you succeed. This approach not only strengthens your relationships, but also reinforces your own sense of fulfillment. Imagine if the man from the earlier story had adopted this mindset. Instead of posting about his vacations and purchases, he could have shared reflections on the journey that led to his success, the challenges he faced, the lessons he learned, and the values that guided him. Such posts would have been far more meaningful, inspiring his audience and fostering genuine connections. His online presence could have become a source of encouragement and wisdom, reflecting the depth of his character rather than the surface of his lifestyle. Stoicism reminds us that humility and self-discipline are key to a fulfilling life. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor." This insight applies not only to material possessions, but also to our desire for recognition. By letting go of the need for external validation, we free ourselves to focus on what truly matters: personal growth, meaningful relationships, and inner peace. Excessive boasting may feel gratifying in the moment, but it often comes at a cost. The respect and admiration we seek cannot be gained through self-promotion alone. Instead, they are earned through actions that align with our values and through genuine connections with others. By practicing humility and mindfulness, we not only protect our reputation, but also inspire those around us to do the same. The next time you feel the urge to boast, consider an alternative approach. Reflect on what you're grateful for and share that instead. Use your platform to spread positivity, wisdom, and encouragement. Your online presence is a reflection of your inner state. Let it be one of calm, confidence, and authenticity. 3. Oversharing personal details. In today's world, platforms for connection and self-expression have become integral to our lives. These digital spaces allow us to celebrate milestones, share our thoughts, and keep others updated about what matters most to us. But for some, this freedom turns into oversharing, revealing personal details that would be better kept private. It's a common behavior, driven by the desire for connection or even validation, but it often comes at a cost. Oversharing personal information on social media not only puts privacy at risk, but also reflects impulsive behavior and a lack of emotional restraint. Oversharing has consequences that ripple far beyond the immediate moment of posting. For the individual, it can lead to regret, as sensitive information shared in a moment of vulnerability becomes permanently accessible online. Strangers or acquaintances may use this information in ways the person never intended, whether through judgment, gossip, or even malicious actions. For those connected to the individual, the effects can be equally damaging. Family disputes, personal struggles, or workplace conflicts aired publicly can harm relationships, creating lasting tensions that are difficult to mend. Why do people overshare? Often, it stems from a lack of emotional control and an inability to set boundaries. Social media gives the illusion of a safe, controlled environment, but in reality, it's an open stage where every post is scrutinized, shared, and stored. People may overshare in search of comfort, validation, or attention, mistaking likes and comments for genuine connection. Yet, these fleeting interactions rarely satisfy the deeper need for emotional security. Stoicism offers a profound perspective on this issue. The philosophy emphasizes self-control, mindfulness, and protecting what is within our domain, including personal information. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, taught, "Keep what is yours within your control." This doesn't just apply to material possessions, but also to the thoughts and details of our lives. Stoicism encourages us to guard our inner world and approach self-expression with intention and discipline. Take the story of a woman I once knew, who frequently shared intimate details of her life on social media. From struggles in her marriage to conflicts at work, her posts revealed more than she realized. While she gained immediate sympathy and attention from her followers, the long-term consequences were harsh. Her workplace conflicts escalated as colleagues found her posts, leading to further misunderstandings. Her marriage suffered as her partner felt betrayed by the public airing of private issues. Even friends began to pull away, unsure of where their own boundaries might be crossed. This behavior reflected a lack of emotional awareness. Instead of processing her emotions privately or with trusted confidants, she sought validation from an audience that couldn't provide real support. The consequences were strained relationships, damaged trust, and a reputation for being indiscreet. What could she have done differently? Stoic philosophy would suggest pausing before sharing and reflecting on the purpose behind the post. Is it an impulsive reaction to a strong emotion? Is it seeking validation or sympathy? Instead of turning to social media, she could have written her thoughts in a private journal or spoken to a trusted friend. These approaches allow for emotional release without compromising privacy or relationships. If you've ever felt the temptation to overshare, consider this. Not every thought or feeling needs an audience. Before posting, ask yourself, does this serve a purpose, or am I exposing too much of myself? Will this post protect my privacy and dignity, or will it leave me vulnerable? Cultivating this habit of reflection is a key step toward managing your online presence with wisdom. Imagine the same woman from the story applying this approach. Instead of posting about her marital struggles, she might have written privately about her feelings to process them. Instead of airing workplace grievances online, she could have addressed her concerns directly with her colleagues or sought advice from a trusted mentor. These choices wouldn't just have preserved her relationships, they would have shown emotional maturity and self-control, qualities that build respect and trust. Stoicism also reminds us of the value of boundaries. Protecting your privacy is not just about withholding information, it's about recognizing your worth and choosing who gets access to your inner world. When you set boundaries, you demonstrate self-respect and create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. Social media, when used wisely, can be a powerful tool for sharing ideas and building relationships, but it requires discipline and intentionality. To maintain both your privacy and your reputation, practice mindful posting. Share only what aligns with your values and consider how your words will be received. Focus on content that uplifts, educates, or inspires, rather than sharing impulsively in moments of emotional vulnerability. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a mind that governs itself." When you take control of your impulses and approach social media with intention, you elevate yourself above the noise. You become a person whose words carry weight because they are thoughtful and measured, not reactionary or self-serving. If you ever find yourself wanting to share something deeply personal, pause and reflect. Consider whether it's better to share privately with someone you trust or whether it might be more productive to process it on your own. By exercising this restraint, you not only protect your own dignity, but also preserve the trust and respect of those around you. What about you? Have you ever regretted sharing too much online, or have you witnessed someone facing the consequences of oversharing? Share your thoughts or stories in the comments. Your experience might help others navigate this challenge with wisdom and care. In a world where social media encourages transparency and immediacy, choosing discretion is an act of strength. By following the principles of Stoicism, you can create an online presence that reflects your best self, a person who values privacy, practices mindfulness, and inspires others with authenticity and thoughtfulness. 4. Spreading fake or unverified news. The ability to share information instantly is one of social media's greatest strengths. News that used to take hours or days to reach a wide audience now spreads across the globe in seconds. This accessibility has brought people closer and empowered communities to stay informed. However, it has also created a dangerous phenomenon: the widespread sharing of fake or unverified news. While it may seem like a harmless act, sharing information without verifying its accuracy reflects a lack of responsibility and critical thinking. It contributes to confusion, fear, and ultimately, the erosion of trust within communities. Spreading fake news has far-reaching consequences. For the person sharing, it damages credibility and trustworthiness. Friends, family, and colleagues may begin to view them as unreliable or impulsive, especially if the pattern repeats. The affected parties, whether individuals, organizations, or entire communities, bear the brunt of the harm. False information can tarnish reputations, disrupt lives, or fuel unnecessary panic. Beyond personal and immediate impacts, misinformation contributes to a broader culture of doubt and distrust. It undermines the integrity of information-sharing platforms, making it harder for people to discern truth from falsehood. This behavior often stems from emotional impulses. When individuals encounter content that aligns with their emotions, whether anger, outrage, or fear, they may react without pausing to verify its authenticity. Social media amplifies this tendency by encouraging immediate responses. Likes, comments, and shares offer instant gratification, reinforcing the behavior even when it's harmful. The rapid pace of online interactions discourages reflection, making it easy to prioritize engagement over accuracy. Stoic philosophy offers a valuable antidote to this problem. At its core, Stoicism emphasizes reason, mindfulness, and the pursuit of truth. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, advised, "First, learn the meaning of what you say, and then speak." This principle applies equally to what we share online. Before spreading information, we must ensure we understand its accuracy, source, and potential impact. Acting with intention and discipline helps us avoid the pitfalls of impulsive behavior and reinforces our commitment to truth. I recall a story about a man who shared an article on social media about a rumored food shortage. The article, filled with alarming claims, triggered widespread concern among his friends and followers. People rushed to stockpile supplies, creating unnecessary chaos. Within hours, the article was debunked, revealed to be from an unverified and sensationalist source. The damage, however, had already been done. Relationships were strained as his friends felt misled, and his reputation as a reliable source of information was tarnished. What started as an attempt to inform others ended up creating confusion and fear. The issue wasn't malicious intent, but emotional impulsiveness. Rather than verifying the information, the man acted on his initial reaction, driven by a desire to help or warn others. However, his failure to pause and think critically before sharing highlighted a lack of emotional intelligence. This impulsiveness not only affected his credibility, but also strained his relationships and amplified unnecessary anxiety within his community. If you've ever felt compelled to share an article or post, it's crucial to pause and assess its validity first. Consider the source of the information. Is it from a trusted, reliable platform, or does it come from an obscure website with no verifiable credentials? Look beyond the headline, which is often designed to provoke emotional reactions. Take a moment to cross-check the information with multiple sources, especially those with established credibility. When you approach information critically, you not only protect yourself but also contribute positively to the online community. Imagine if the man in the story had taken a different approach. Before sharing the alarming article, he could have paused to verify its claims. A quick search might have revealed that the information was exaggerated or entirely false. Instead of amplifying the misinformation, he could have chosen to share resources from credible organizations offering practical advice. This choice would have preserved his reputation, reassured his community, and contributed to a sense of calm rather than panic. Stoicism also reminds us of the value of restraint. In a world that encourages instant reactions, the ability to pause and reflect is a sign of strength. Seneca, another great Stoic philosopher, wrote, "To err is human, but to persist in error is diabolical." This wisdom reminds us of the importance of correcting mistakes and avoiding impulsive actions that could lead to harm. Practicing restraint in what we share online not only protects our credibility, but also upholds the integrity of the information we contribute to the public sphere. Social media, when used thoughtfully, has the potential to educate, connect, and inspire. However, this requires intentionality and discipline. By verifying the accuracy of information before sharing, we demonstrate integrity and responsibility. Instead of reacting to headlines or emotional triggers, focus on the impact your actions have on others. Sharing information thoughtfully ensures that your contributions add clarity and value rather than confusion and fear. When you feel the urge to share something, think of yourself as a gatekeeper of truth. Your decision to pause and verify reflects not only your commitment to accuracy, but also your respect for those who trust your judgment. This habit reinforces Stoic principles of reason, self-discipline, and a dedication to the greater good. In practice, this could mean taking a few moments to research the article or post you're considering sharing. Ask yourself, who is the source? Is this information aligned with credible evidence? What purpose does sharing this serve? If you find the information lacking in credibility, resist the urge to share it and instead focus on providing accurate or uplifting content. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we can transform the way we interact with social media. We move from being passive consumers to active participants who contribute positively to the conversation. As Epictetus suggested, aligning our actions with reason and truth not only benefits us, but also creates a ripple effect that inspires others to do the same. The next time you encounter an article or post that provokes an emotional reaction, pause. Reflect on whether sharing it aligns with the values of accuracy, mindfulness, and integrity. By choosing restraint and reason, you not only protect your reputation, but also contribute to a more thoughtful and informed online community. 5. Posting inappropriate content. In the vast world of social media, every post reflects a piece of the person sharing it. Content that uplifts, educates, or inspires leaves a positive impression, strengthening connections and fostering respect. However, when inappropriate or offensive content is shared, the impact is entirely different. Whether it's a thoughtless joke, a divisive opinion, or an image lacking context, such posts not only offend others but also tarnish the poster's reputation, often in irreversible ways. Posting inappropriate content is more than just a lapse in judgment. It's a sign of poor emotional awareness. The digital space amplifies every word and image, turning momentary lapses into permanent public records. For the person posting, the consequences are serious. Friends, family, and colleagues may view them as careless or disrespectful, leading to strained relationships. Professionally, such behavior can damage credibility and even result in lost opportunities. For those exposed to the content, the impact can be hurtful, fostering resentment or mistrust. This behavior often stems from impulsivity. In moments of anger, frustration, or excitement, people post without considering the long-term effects of their words or images. Social media's immediacy feeds into this impulsiveness, encouraging quick reactions over thoughtful responses. The need for validation or attention can further drive these choices, clouding judgment and leading to decisions that might be regretted later. Stoicism provides valuable guidance in navigating such challenges. Central to its philosophy is the idea of living with integrity, treating others with respect, and acting with intention. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." This timeless advice reminds us to focus on aligning our actions with our values, ensuring that every decision, including what we post online, reflects the person we aspire to be. A story from a few years ago illustrates this point. A young professional I knew shared a heated opinion about a controversial topic on his public social media account. His post, intended to express frustration, quickly gained attention. Not for the reasons he had hoped. Many viewed his words as insensitive, sparking heated debates in the comments. Colleagues and acquaintances began to distance themselves, questioning his judgment. Even after he deleted the post, the damage was done. Screenshots circulated, and his reputation, once strong, was deeply affected. His actions revealed a lack of emotional control and foresight. Rather than reflecting on his thoughts privately or discussing them with close friends, he chose to vent publicly. This impulsive decision highlighted an inability to pause and consider the broader impact of his words. The fallout wasn't just professional, it affected his relationships, leaving a trail of misunderstandings and broken trust. When faced with situations where emotions run high, practicing restraint is critical. Instead of rushing to post, take a moment to reflect. What purpose does the post serve? Will it uplift, inform, or connect with others meaningfully? If it risks offending or alienating your audience, consider finding a different outlet. Writing in a journal, talking with a trusted confidant, or simply waiting until emotions subside can help you approach the situation with clarity and wisdom. Imagine how differently the young professional's story could have unfolded if he had embraced Stoic principles. Instead of sharing his thoughts impulsively, he could have reflected on the root of his frustration and sought a constructive way to address it. A private conversation with a mentor or colleague might have provided him with perspective, helping him frame his opinion in a way that was both respectful and impactful. Such a response would have demonstrated maturity and emotional intelligence, preserving his relationships and reputation. Stoicism teaches us to view every action as a reflection of our character. Seneca reminds us, every day as it comes should be welcomed, without relishing our vulgarity or disgrace. This idea extends to our digital lives, where each post is a choice, an opportunity to build or erode trust, and strengthen or weaken connections. By approaching social media with intention, we not only protect ourselves, but also contribute positively to the online world. If you find yourself tempted to post something that might be divisive or inappropriate, pause and ask yourself a few questions. Does this align with my values? Will this build or damage relationships? Is there a better way to express my thoughts? This moment of reflection can make the difference between a hasty mistake and a thoughtful decision. Beyond restraint, it's important to use social media as a tool for good. Share content that inspires, informs, and connects. Celebrate achievements humbly, offer encouragement, and contribute to meaningful conversations. By doing so, you elevate your online presence, creating a digital reflection of the person you strive to be. Social media is an extension of our daily lives, but it requires more care and responsibility. Inappropriate content not only harms the poster, but also affects the broader community. When we approach social media with stoic discipline, acting with integrity, respecting others, and pausing to reflect, we build a space that aligns with our values and fosters positive connections. The next time you feel the urge to post something in the heat of the moment, take a breath, reflect on the potential impact of your words, and consider whether they represent the best version of yourself. By choosing restraint and intention, you protect your reputation and strengthen your relationships, both online and offline. 6. Constantly sharing negative posts. The digital world reflects who we are, and every post we share adds to the picture we paint of ourselves. For some, this picture becomes saturated with negativity, complaints about daily struggles, constant criticisms, or venting frustrations. While it may seem like an innocent outlet, continuously sharing negative content creates a cycle of despair, not just for the poster, but for everyone exposed to it. This behavior often stems from emotional impulsiveness, where individuals use social media to unload their burdens without considering the impact. Negative posts are more than fleeting words. They carry weight. For the person sharing, this habit can shape how others perceive them. Constant negativity risks alienating friends, colleagues, and even family, as it drains emotional energy and fosters resentment. Over time, these posts can harm professional opportunities, with potential connections or employers perceiving the individual as overly pessimistic or difficult. For those who follow such content, it often leads to frustration, fatigue, and even disengagement, creating a toxic atmosphere where positivity struggles to thrive. This behavior arises from a lack of emotional control. When overwhelmed by challenges or frustrations, turning to social media feels like an easy release. The instant gratification of likes or comments might provide momentary comfort, but fails to address the deeper issues at play. Instead of finding solutions, the individual becomes trapped in a cycle of venting, fueling negativity without resolution. Stoicism offers a practical and transformative solution. The philosophy teaches us to seek inner peace, focus on what we can control, and rise above external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, emphasized the power of perspective. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This insight reminds us that while we can't control every situation, we can control how we respond to it. By choosing mindfulness and restraint, we protect our peace and avoid spreading negativity to others. A story from someone I knew illustrates this vividly. He was a talented professional with a strong network, but had developed a habit of sharing every frustration online, whether it was about work, personal relationships, or even small daily inconveniences. At first, his friends and followers responded with sympathy, offering advice or support. But as the negative posts continued, the responses dwindled. Colleagues began avoiding him, unsure of how to engage without becoming part of his frustrations. Opportunities that once came easily now seemed to pass him by, as people hesitated to connect with someone they viewed as overly critical. His actions revealed a pattern of emotional impulsiveness. Instead of processing his feelings privately or seeking constructive solutions, he used social media as a sounding board. While his intention may have been to share honestly, the result was an image of someone unable to manage emotions or face challenges productively. Over time, this damaged his reputation and strained his relationships. If you find yourself tempted to vent negativity online, take a moment to pause. Reflect on the purpose behind the post. Is it to seek sympathy, or are you looking for solutions? Instead of sharing frustrations publicly, consider writing them down in a private journal. This allows you to process your emotions constructively, without the risk of harming your relationships or reputation. If the issue involves others, approach them directly with calmness and clarity, focusing on resolution rather than blame. Imagine if the man in the story had adopted this approach. Instead of posting his frustrations online, he could have taken time to reflect on the root of his emotions. By journaling his thoughts or speaking with a trusted confidant, he might have gained perspective and clarity. When he was ready, he could have addressed his challenges directly, showing emotional intelligence and earning respect from those around him. Such actions not only preserve relationships but also demonstrate resilience and self-control. Stoicism encourages us to find balance by cultivating gratitude. When we focus on the good in our lives, even amidst challenges, we shift our mindset away from negativity. Seneca advised, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." This profound reminder urges us to reflect on our circumstances with clarity and perspective, recognizing that our mindset shapes our experience. Sharing gratitude or uplifting content on social media not only benefits us, but also inspires those who follow us, creating a ripple effect of positivity. Social media is a platform that amplifies whatever we choose to share. By practicing mindfulness and restraint, we can transform it into a space of growth and inspiration. Replace posts of frustration with stories of resilience. Share lessons learned from challenges, focusing on how they've shaped you positively. When we approach our digital presence with intention, we create a reflection of the person we aspire to be: resilient, wise, and uplifting. When emotions run high, it's tempting to turn to social media as an outlet. But pausing to reflect before posting can make all the difference. Ask yourself, does this post represent my values? Will it uplift or burden others? Am I focusing on a solution, or am I amplifying the problem? By choosing to act with mindfulness, you protect your emotional energy and ensure that your contributions online align with your long-term goals. Our actions online are not separate from who we are. They are a reflection of our inner state. Constant negativity doesn't just harm our reputation, it affects our relationships, opportunities, and overall sense of well-being. Stoicism reminds us to focus on what we can control, seeking peace and clarity amidst life's challenges. By embodying these principles, we can approach social media with wisdom, ensuring that our posts inspire rather than discourage. The next time you feel the urge to share a negative thought, take a breath. Reflect on your purpose and consider whether there's a more constructive way to process your emotions. Through restraint and intentionality, you not only protect your own peace, but also contribute to a more positive and empowering online environment. Social media is a reflection of our inner world. Each post, comment, and interaction reveals something about who we are and what we value. In exploring the 6 ways low emotional intelligence manifests online, we've uncovered patterns of behavior that not only harm relationships, but also diminish the peace and integrity we all seek. From public complaints to oversharing personal details, from spreading unverified news to posting inappropriate content, these habits stem from impulsive reactions and a lack of self-awareness. But these are not permanent flaws, they are growth opportunities. The teachings of Stoic philosophy provide us with a timeless framework for navigating the digital age. By focusing on self-control, emotional resilience, and inner peace, we can transform our social media habits into reflections of the best version of ourselves. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to look inward, to cultivate a mind that is steady and free from the turmoil of external events. This wisdom encourages us to pause, reflect, and act with intention, whether online or offline. Let this be your practice moving forward. Before posting, ask yourself, am I adding value? Does this reflect the person I aspire to be? These small moments of mindfulness create a ripple effect, strengthening your emotional intelligence while fostering meaningful connections with others. Share your stories below. Have you encountered challenges in navigating social media with grace? What lessons have you learned along the way? Your experiences are valuable, and they might just inspire someone else to take a step toward self-improvement. Every day offers a new chance to grow, embody the wisdom of Stoic principles, and create a digital presence that reflects authenticity, humility, and kindness. Let today be that day. Start small, practice consistently, and watch as your online interactions become a source of connection, inspiration, and peace.